something's looking a little bit different around here, isn't it? I thought I'd change up the pace a little bit and actually show you one of my other mini hobbies. You've seen the haunted house, you've seen the brewing, but have you seen the soap making? So I figured it could be fun for us to go through and actually make a batch of cold processed soap. I make a whole bunch of the soaps, well, pretty much all the soaps I use, I like what they do for your skin. I like that you can kind of custom tailor it. You don't have all those really harsh, astringents and surfactants and stuff in there, so it's a little bit easier on my skin. I've got really kind of oily skin, a little TMI, but a little bit oily skin, so I found that, the homemade, bathing products, cold processed soap, not so much the glycerin melt and pour stuff, mostly cold processed soaps, just work great for my skin. It cleans everything well, but it doesn't leave it oily, even though we use a whole lot of super fatting oils in those to give you, lather and, all kinds of good stuff. So, figured it would be fun for us to make a batch today, show you yet another cool hobby, and to kind of demystify it. Some folks will say cold process is really, really hard to do. It's not. You just have to measure everything. And if you measure everything, measure it by weight. Very easy. So we're going to be doing a cucumber melon soap. My recipe is 8 ounces of coconut oil, 10 ounces of palm oil, they're the hard oils in the back there, 8 ounces of olive pomace. We've got 4 ounces of sweet almond. We're going to use 2 ounces of shea butter, 1 ounce of cocoa butter, and 1 ounce of mango butter. 2.25 ounces of the cucumber melon fragrance. Let's see here. 4.752 ounces of lye, 11.22 ounces of water, and that should give us a 49.9 ounce yield, which should fit great into my silicone mold. When it comes to soap making, it's just like beer making. You need your ingredients, you need your equipment. Glass bowls and stainless steel mixing appliances, a silicone scraper, some gloves for when we're handling the lye, and then of course a scale. That's really about it. This shouldn't take too long at all. We'll go through the whole process, and yeah. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and go through, measure out all the oils I need, get them all put together, and so that way then we can rock and roll. Obviously the butters are in. Let me just set this down here. The butters are in a chunk form because they're a chunk of butter. So this is the mango butter, for example. So you can see it's kind of a little bit gooey. The cocoa butter, conversely, is very, very hard. Similar with the coconut oil here and the palm oil, they need to be melted down. So what we'll do is measure out the butters, melt them. I'll melt the two coconut oil and the palm oil down, get them mixed together in a bowl, and then we will be back. So I figured you didn't want to see a whole bunch of measuring out things and microwaving them. So so we'll see you in a minute. So for point of reference, here are the butters we were talking about earlier. So the white butter there is the shea butter. The dark yellow is the cocoa butter. And the kind of mid-tone butter there is the mango butter. So really, really nice ingredients. It was 2 ounces shea, 1 ounce cocoa, 1 ounce mango, and you can see we're sitting at exactly, there's like 4 ounces. You want to be pretty exact about your measurements, so. Okay, so while the oils are still heating up, we're going to go ahead and mix in the sodium hydroxide with our water. Now, sodium hydroxide is a corrosive. It is poisonous. You don't want to mess with it. So yeah, when you're adding chemicals, mixing them with water, you have your water in a container and you slowly add your chemical. You never have it the other way around, especially sodium hydroxide. What it can do is when you pour in the water on top of it, it can form a crust and then basically sit there and boil and then blow out. That is one thing. Sodium hydroxide has an exothermic reaction, so when we add it to the water here, it's going to get really hot really fast. One thing I did forget about, or two things I forgot earlier, a piece of equipment you're going to need, some type of a thermometer. The laser ones work great. Our water's sitting at 72, not sure if you can see that. Yep, 72.7 just to make sure. And then, sorry, this here, a little bit of green food coloring. For later on, we're going to add a little bit of a green tint to it. It's cucumber melon, so that'll be kind of fun. And then no, I did not pour myself a glass of wine. That's actually our fragrance oil. And I spilled a little bit, so I think my downstairs here is going to smell like, you know, what is it, cucumber melon until hell freezes over. So, okay, so with this, we're going to put on our gloves. Some folks mix their sodium hydroxide outside because it does emit some fumes. I've got a pretty well ventilated basement, and it's going to be a while before I'm down here actually working in this. So we're just going to go ahead and do it here because the camera's here and it's a lot easier to manage. So, water, we've got 11.22 ounces by weight. Not fluid ounces, by weight. You do everything by weight so that way you know exactly what you're dealing with here. And then where were we at again here? 71.7. Yeah, 71.9, so like 72 degrees. I've got a stainless steel whisker. It's actually the other side of the attachment for the hand blender here, but I just use it by hand. It keeps it easy and we don't have to worry about it, so. Okay. I like to get it moving around just a little bit. Some folks will wear safety goggles while they're doing this too. You don't want to get this stuff in your eyes or on your skin. It is pretty nasty. Okay, you can see it's gone kind of a milky white. And I'm not sure if you can see, but it's steaming. We're at 192 degrees. Away it goes, huh? So I mix it pretty much constantly until it goes clear. I guess if I did put this on the stick blender, it would make it easier, but whatever. Now I'm going to quickly put the cap back on this little thing. So it's done there. I keep using the same container over and over for the sodium hydroxide. Whew, that is hot. 189. It's probably picking up some steam now. 189. 181. Yeah. It's seeming to register, but 188.5. Yeah. So 188. One thing I did not mention when I was talking earlier about mixing in the oils and everything, so we're melting them, so we have to heat them up. This is hot as well. So what you want to do is kind of match the temperatures. It's kind of like when you're working with your yeast. You don't want a huge temperature shock between the two. It can cause problems. On this side, it's more chemical than biological. But yeah, so you want to basically match your temperatures as close as you can. I typically just see where they're at, and then I like to mix them a little bit on the warm side. The whole process benefits from handling it a little bit toasty. So some folks will shoot for right around 100 degrees. I shoot anywhere between 100 and 120, as long as they're matched pretty well. So I'm not sure if you can see in there, but it is clear now. There's steam everywhere here. And we're at 182. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set this off to the side here. Let that cool down. I'm going to rinse this off with some water. Ooh, and one thing, the water that I used was distilled. You want to make absolutely sure that it is completely pure water. You don't want the sodium hydroxide reacting to minerals because that can cause all kinds of problems for you. So distilled water or, pure RO only. Okay, we're just going to go now check on those oils, and we'll be back once everything's equalized. Okay, so there's just a few degrees difference between these two. 116 there, 111 here, or actually it's blipping on like 111.9, 112, 116.5. Cool. I think we are good to go. So basically what we do, we are going to take the sodium hydroxide solution, get that into our base oils here, begin blending it, add our superfat oils, continue blending it until trace, and then what we're going to do is add the fragrance oil, mix that in really quickly, and then pour some out into this container, add a little bit of our green food coloring to make our ribbon, and then we're going to get it in the silicone mold. So yeah, this is a silicone mold. They're flexible. It's real easy to get it out of, so they're the ones that I use. So without further ado, yeah, I think we're good to go. Some folks also wear gloves for this. As long as you don't splash it, you're okay. You can see there's already a bit of a reaction going on there. It's starting to, what would you say? Get milky, colloidal. I try to get as much of that out of there as we can. Don't want it dripping on stuff. I'm going to set this aside for now. Rinse it out in a bit. Okay. Stainless steel. If you put it in kind of sideways, you can kind of blip out the air bubble that's in the top. Okay. Not sure if you can see that or not. Well, that looks different, doesn't it? You gotta love chemistry. So you could do this just by stirring. It would just take quite a long time. This speeds the process up. What we're looking for is a thing called trace, which is basically where it starts to get a pudding-like consistency. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add these now. These are the butters. This is going to add, just all kinds of good stuff. It's going to help with skin hydration. It's going to help with a little bit of lather. It's going to be lovely. Actually, I'm going to set this aside as well for now. Okay. So you can see we're starting to we're pretty much at trace. Yeah, that happened nice and quick. So I'm going to hand blend this in a little bit here. The mixer speeds the whole thing up. Whoops, wrong button. A real light trace forming. So trace, like I said, if you pull it up and you kind of go across the top here, you can see it kind of sticks a little bit, and it may just be the light actually where I'm at. It's just starting. It's a nice light trace. We're going to do just a little bit more mixing. Get those oils incorporated. Ooh, we'll actually take our oil container, set that aside for our little ribboning experiment, our green food coloring. Don't need a whole lot. So, first trace is happening. You can see, I think you can see, the way the light's hitting it there. If you pull this up and you kind of go around there, it acts more like a pudding. It's like more of a gel now rather than just a liquid. So we'll go ahead now at this point. Yep, add our fragrance oils. This is going to accelerate trace even more. So now we are on the clock, people. It is time to get this done. I'm giving this just a hand mix to get it in there. And then I'm going to pulse it just a little bit. If you've looked into soap making before, some folks will, some oils you'll find will actually speed up trace. They accelerate trace dramatically. There's some differences between fragrance oils and some differences between essential oils. What we used today was a fragrance oil, so it acts a little bit differently. Typically doesn't speed things up too bad. But yeah, you can see we got some trace going on. Let the blender do its job, Joe. It's like my blending spoon. Okay, you see how that's like meringue now? You can see that. You've got to be able to see that. It's forming a decent amount of trace. So we are pretty much done. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, try to get as much off as we can. Actually, this will work out good. It's good having all these extra containers around. So we'll set that in there for right now. We won't need it anymore. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of the soap here, pour it into this container. That looks to be good. Then I'm going to take the rest and pour it in the mold. And you'll see what I'm up to here in a second. So I just try to make a nice kind of even coating, get it all along the bottom there. And then if it starts to pile up, it's typically not a problem. We'll be smoothing it out here in just a bit anyway. Okay. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so now with this here, we are going to take and add some green food coloring. These are the gel, so it's a little bit thicker. Okay. I'm just going to take my spoon here. And I like to add just enough coloring so that you can tell there's a difference, but not so much that it's going to like stain the washcloth and everything. Different colors. So I just add sparingly, keep mixing, add sparingly, keep mixing. Figure cucumber melon be a nice, with a little bit of a green tint to it. I've done a very similar soap that used a cranberry fig blend, and it had a pink ribbon through it. I figured the cranberry having a little bit of like a reddish, I thought it would come across as red, but it came across as a bit more of a pink, which worked fine. But like I said, it didn't dye my washcloths. So. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit more, but I think that's pretty good. Like I said, I kind of like it set a little more natural. Don't want to put chunks of cucumber or melon in it though. That would be gross. That would not work out well. Let's see. What do you guys think here? I'm thinking a little more. Just a little more. Not a whole lot more. Well, who am I kidding? I never just not a whole lot. That's Joe for you. Okay, I'm done. Cut me off. There are also different colorants you can use that are more like mineral based. You know, they don't stain anything. This could stain a little bit, like I said, if it's under real high concentration. But that should be great. Okay, I can see green. So now what I'm going to do is kind of just pour it right down the center there. na na na. And same deal. Getting as much out of there as I can. Soap in the mixing bowl means less soap at the end of the process. So it's like making beer from the canned hop extracts, you know? Get every little bit out of there. We can't rinse this though to get our extra out, so we gotta get it right. Gotta just get it out of there immediately. Okay, looks pretty good to me. So let's see here. I think what I'm gonna do is kind of do a, like kind of pull it up and around a little bit. Not infusing air bubbles or anything, but just kind of trying to mix that ribbon a little bit through there. Yummy. Nothing too damn nuts though. And then you go like this, it'll chunk it up. Add a little bit of difference to how it looks there. Right now it kind of looks like we've made a red box of puke. Okay. I typically will pop it around a little bit just to make sure there's no air bubbles in the corners or anything. But I think that should work well. So it's going to be white towards the bottom, more, you know, olive green towards the top, and then it's going to kind of, you know, get all funky towards that center area there. Cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I've got the box for the silicone mold here. So it's nice because it acts as a support. So I'll just take that, drop it right in there. So there we go. Done and done. Now what we'll do, we'll seal it up like that. I'm going to wrap it in a towel and I'm going to put it in a nice warm spot somewhere here in the house, which should be easy. It's summertime right now, so we'll just put it in a nice toasty area and let this sit for 24 to 48 hours. While it's in there, the whole thing's going to harden up. It's going to continue the saponification of the oils and basically make a nice rich soap. So we will actually cut back, you know, after 24 to 48 hours and finish up this video and show you what we got and cut it into bars. So we'll see how that color turned out. It's kind of looking right now like a little bit more of a yellow, you know, light cream up against a darker yellow, but you know, it looked green when I first mixed it in, not so much anymore. We shall see how that turns out. So we'll see you in about a day or two. Okay, so it has been just over 24 hours later, and we have got some soap. How exciting. Nice and cool. It's looking kind of funky chunky, which will be interesting. So I went ahead and pulled out some of my other tools here. We'll just set this box down here on the floor. Just a regular miter box works great. I've made an indication with some marker here at about the inch mark. Just one of those, not a slap chopper, but you know, I don't know, a cutter measures. It's in the kitchen section. I don't even know what the hell this thing's called. And then just some of my rack here. I've got some of my soaps that I've made here before. I'm down to just a couple. You can see why this one's got gold in the top. Ooh, fancy. Why I was needing to make some soap here, because I am running out. So each one smells different, of course. So yeah, let's. Where's a little dog hair already? So let's see. I try to crack it along the ridge of that. I don't know, the kind of spill over there. And I always crack them open at this point, you know, 24 to 36 hours in. I try to avoid going much longer than that, because then the soap gets pretty hard. So for me, okay, so whoop. I always make a mess. And it's going to be pretty soft at this point, so alright. Sorry, I'm just popping some of the stuff off here. Looky there. Smells nice. Got kind of that darker side there, a lighter side. It's kind of half and half there. So this is going to look really cool. I was kind of nervous that the that green wouldn't come across because it was looking really yellow there. I was like, well, you know, maybe it was enough, maybe it wasn't enough. I don't know. Oh, it smells awesome. It smells like it looks, very green. Okay, so we can go ahead and start cutting here. So you can see I just line it up there and then pop that in there. Press down. One in. Damn dog hair. Cool. I'm happy. Ooh, that's cool. Because we kind of put it in there and then chunked it around. It's marbled. It looks cool. Kegerator kicked on. It is hot as hell in Iowa right now, let me tell you. Ooh, that one looks cool. Call it camo cucumber. So I believe if all goes correctly, I should get about 11 bars here. And then much like homebrew, you can't enjoy it right away, you gotta wait. See, that one's got a little bit more. I wonder if we'll get a little more green here because it went pretty yellow there. Cool. I'm really surprised that that green actually came through. Now we'll see how much it dyes my washcloth. I'm not finding any, what do they call it? Not hot spots, but the, where it's still oil, you know? Looks like we got a nice conversion and it's even throughout. That's something you're looking for. If it's kind of, you know, that one there's going to be a little short, so I'm just going to split it kind of halfway there. A little bit shorter bars on those two, but that's okay. It's all good. Whoop. There we go. Cool. And then the last bar. Now, one thing I have noticed, like the pink was not very pink when it first started out. This has had a little bit more exposure, I guess. So it's going to change. It's going to get a richer color as it ages. So yeah, for example, this one here, it was all pretty much just milky, and then that pink really popped once it had some aging time on it. So there we go. I got to clean up a little bit here. My hands are going to be lovely. I'll just rinse them and boom, I've washed my hands. All the tools and stuff here. Obviously it's soap, so you got it set. You just rinse it off. How beautiful. So there we go. We have made some soap. Woohoo! Cleanliness shall happen. Anyway, so we got, let's see, 4, 8, 9, 10 bars. Yeah, 10 bars there. Yeah, worked out great. Smells awesome. Looks good. Was nice and easy. Can't beat that. So yeah, let's see. Some ingredients, thermometer, some safety stuff, bowls, stainless steel stick blender. You can make some pretty awesome homemade soaps. Good for your skin. You can include whatever oils and stuff you like in there to help, you know, make your skin feel better, look better, and hopefully hey, it'll make us all look like we're lasting longer as well. So if you've got any questions or comments, or you make soap yourself, please do leave a comment down in the comments section. Let me know your technique. I'm relatively new to this. I've done, oh gosh, 5 batches or so. So pretty fresh to it, but you know, I've never had a problem with it, never had a bad batch come out, and you know, I really dig it. This one here's been one of my favorites. Not sure if you can see that. Oatmeal. Oatmeal and honey. Oatmeal, milk, and honey, I believe. It's phenomenal. Love it. And then I ground up some oats in there, and so it acts like an exfoliant. It's nice. So yeah. Please do leave comments, thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And yeah, guys, more videos coming. Until then, cheers. I'm drinking my wine tonight. Cabernet Sauvignon. We'll see you soon.